Welcome to World Monologue Games 2023 Regional Finals. This is the endurance category and the region is India, UK and South America. Note that we often have strong language or adult themes here at the game, so if you're sensitive to any particular topic or subject matter, it could be in this show. Feel free to hit the like or subscribe button or give us a comment or chat message if you'd like to show some love for the actors. Voting lines will be open for 48 hours at the end of this broadcast, and a link will be posted in the description of this video below. Enjoy the show.
I saw my mum today. Oh, what's so unusual about that, you might ask? Well, if you could. But I'm sure you can hear me, otherwise what would be the point of me talking to you? No, it was strange. Yeah, very strange, because you see, my dear mum left me, 8 years ago? 2 years before Stanley. Funny she should make an appearance all of a sudden without any announcement after all this time. But maybe that's how they arrange things up there. Who knows? But it was a wonderful experience. It really was. I've never had anything like that before. Although I remember Mum was always very interested in all that sort of stuff. It wasn't unnerving at all. Well, I mean, why would it be? She looked fit and healthy. Nothing like she was the last time. I try not to remember how she was the last time. No, she was, how would I put it? Rejuvenated. Yeah, like she'd had a good long sleep and now she's back to her normal, vibrant self. The same knowing smile, same kind look in her eyes. Her curly hair. Now, I'd forgotten how curly her hair was. She never said nothing. No, nothing at all. She simply appeared and then disappeared. I wonder what she came here for. Was she trying to give me a sign? Oh, I hope it's not my time to pop off. Well, not quite yet, anyway. No, I don't think it was that. It was more like she was trying to say, don't worry, kid, you'll be all right. I wonder if she knows about my plan to jump. Oh, I miss my friend Christine. It's been 4 months now since she left and we haven't seen each other much at all since then. Well, she moved into one of those new studio flats, part of the new development. It is very nice, but it is so pokey. You couldn't swing a cat in it. Well, not that I'd want to, of course. When she phoned me last week, she said, when you come to join me, wouldn't I want to be with my neighbours again? She also told me not to be so stubborn. Yeah, I've heard that before. Oh, it is tempting. I hope I haven't made a mistake. They knocked down the block opposite me. That was the first one to go. What a lot of noise that made. Oh. There used to be a bloke sit on his balcony over there and he'd often stare into my lounge. I wasn't always welcome. Well, I felt I didn't have any privacy, and someone on the 9th floor should expect a little bit of privacy. I thought it was a bit, funny. But now that he's gone, well, I kind of miss him. I want to know if he was just a bit lonely. He'd often give me a little wave and I'd give a little wave back, yeah. And I know it might sound silly, but I felt there was someone looking out for me, if I slipped or came to some harm or something terrible happened, well, I don't know what. When I went shopping yesterday morning, the front door was on the latch again. I wish I knew who was doing it. And again, maybe I'm better off not knowing, eh? There's a lot of weirdos out there. I don't really feel safe anymore. Plus, the lifts haven't been working for 2 weeks. Yeah. How can a woman of my age be expected to climb 9 flights of stairs with 2 bags of shopping and a bad leg? If I take a breather every third floor, then I just about manage it. I have phoned them about the lifts, left 5 messages. It's impossible to speak to a human being these days. When the council first notified us, I wrote them a long letter in my best writing saying that I would refuse to move as they were trying to stick me in one of those studio flats or one of those high-rise blocks for old folks, which must be about 5 miles away. I said both options were unsuitable. They sent me a short letter back saying, hang on, I've got it here somewhere. Here we go. We have no choice other than to evict you by taking you to court and seeking possession of the property. I've been happy here for 20 years. I've always looked after my home the best I can and I've always paid my rent on time. But now they want to regenerate the estate. In other words, knock it down and start again. I mean, it wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, how can they uproot people like that? I love my flat. I'm comfortable here. It's peaceful. A little sanctuary away from all the noise and chaos outside. Now that's what Catherine calls it, and she's right. Anyway, after another few letters backwards and forwards, they said that hang on, I've got that too. Wait a minute. Here we are. Here it is. All other tenants have accepted alternative accommodation. Not every tenant has been lucky enough to be rehomed via our new affordable housing scheme. And if nothing else becomes available to your liking, then I'm afraid you would be making yourself homeless. And it ends, do you have any relatives you could stay with for the short term? If only. Oh no, I don't mean to sound ungrateful to the council for the offer of a brand new flat. I mean, it's very good of them. But I'm holding out for a 1-bedroom, which is what I've been used to all these years. And I'm sure Stanley would have done the same. He'd have sorted them out in his calm way. I'm not giving in, no. My home is my castle. Yeah. Do you hear that? My home is my castle. The hearing's next week. Getting a bit nervous. But if they plan to arrest me, Operation B will come into operation. I packed a small bag with a few possessions and provisions, and if they come knocking on my door, I shall make my escape by wrapping myself in bubble wrap and jumping down the rubbish chute for a quick getaway. I've measured the width of the rubbish chute and I've bought enough bubble wrap from the pound shop, so I will be moving down in slow motion with a soft landing. In theory, anyway. The postman normally knocks when he comes. We usually have a little chat and usually he comes in for a cup of coffee, some tea if he's got time. I imagine he's just checking up on the old girl, making sure things are all right here. It's very good of him. And it would be nice to know, seeing as I am the last person in the block. I've been completely on my own for the last 2 months. I've never felt so lonely. What's this? Prepaid funerals. No, thank you. Not unless you're paying. Oh. 30% off your new conservatory. Oh, well. I'd like to see them try. What's this? I don't believe it. They've finally given in. They must have got fed up with me moaning. I'm moving into a brand new 1-bedroom flat next month. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, what wonderful news. Perhaps it's just as well, eh? I probably wouldn't have survived the jump. Thanks, Mum.
So I just sit here and talk like, gee, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Lights here are a bit too strong, aren't they? But don't worry, I can get used to them. Just one thing before I start. You see, in a theater, when we wanted to try out for something, we were given something to do in character. So I don't see how telling you about myself as myself would really help you to see all the things that I'm capable of doing. Oh, wait, no, I think I get it. How silly of me, of course. Those men of yours who saw me on the stage, they thought that I was quite good, didn't they? So they told you, and now you know how good I am, and you're just trying to prove to your bosses that I'm suited for the screen. Because I certainly think I am. But if that's the case, you don't really need to, say, record sound, do you? Not that I care, I don't really, it's just, in case you are, I thought I should just let you know that, well, I'm aware of the fact that there's one thing that you may want to fix when the time comes, when I'm working here with you. And well, that's the accent. Although I think I have it almost mastered already. Sometimes it just gets, well, it just doesn't come out quite all right. Just sometimes. But what matters here, I think, is the fact that you can't tell that I didn't even speak English not so long ago, can you? And in any case, it shouldn't be much trouble for you, because I heard that you can teach your contract players to do almost anything you need them to do. You see, my friend's mom came to work with you a few years ago. And she, my friend, of course, because I don't speak that much with her mom, she told me that you gave her singing and walking lessons? I don't know. But about the accent, I think you should just polish it off just a little, and that should be fine. And about this whole thing, well, I think if you are sure that this is how your stars should be tested, well, I'm more than willing to cooperate. Just one more thing about the makeup situation. You see, I feel that this is more like character makeup, isn't it? But I sound like me, and I am being me, so it doesn't make much sense. Unless, are you styling me or planning to style me this way, or are you going to try something different? Or I don't care really. It would be fine anyway. I can get used to almost anything, so didn't have to worry about that. You see, when I was on the stage, I used to do my own makeup. I actually learned from my dear Aunt Victoria. I learned almost everything I know from her. She was a wonderful performer. She owned the stage. One time she even had a small part opposite Laura Taylor. Can you imagine Laura Taylor? That's just wonderful. I mean, I never got to see Laura Taylor, so I wouldn't know, but my aunt said that she was the best, and of course I believe her. Oh, my darling Aunt Victoria, she was the single most influential person in my life. Everything from my music taste to my favorite shoes I got from her. She taught me how to stand and sit and walk properly, how to wear my nails for them to be pretty yet practical, how to style my hair a bit differently than this, but it's fine anyway. How to never run out of breath in the middle of a long verse. She taught me to love and respect an audience and how to really enjoy the applause at the end of a show. She was the first person ever who told me that I was good. And I believed her about that too. I think I'm good. At least good enough to make you believe that I had an aunt. No, my, this is really different from the theater, isn't it? But don't think I don't like it. I really do. It may not have the thrill of a live audience, but it certainly has the charm of being preserved for perpetuity. God, that's a bit terrifying, but I like it. I really like it. I find it quite fascinating, actually. And you know what else I like about this? The atmosphere. I can't imagine working here and not being incredibly inspired by so many stars all around us. I mean, on my way up here, I caught just a glimpse of Rosalind Russell. And I still can't believe it. You see, I'm in awe of stars, all the Hepburns and the Garbles and the Crawfords. I've studied all of them, and I really identify with them. Actually, I think I'm meant to be one of them. So how does this work? How long after this are they going to call me to sign? Not that I'm assuming anything, just they went through all the trouble to bring me west, so that means something, doesn't it? And how long do you think they'll sign me for? I mean, 2 years would be ideal, but I would hate for it to be too long because I may want to go back to the theater, you know? So what do you think? What are you do? Are we done? I thought you were going to ask me some questions after this.
Around September, I start collecting things. Throwaway remarks, wistful looks, little hints about what people like. Like when your fountain pen broke. Or when your mother said she liked that jewellery. What was it? Pandora. Then I start making lists. Going shopping in my lunch break for specials, checking things off, planning the menu. But this year, September and October, came and went. I meant to start, I just never seemed to find the time. Then the shops were full of people and decorations, and I realised I hadn't done anything. I felt sick, like when you haven't studied for an exam. You kept saying, "When are you going to put up the tree?" There are 27 pictures of the kids unwrapping their presents under that tree. I just couldn't contemplate 28. A week went by. Christmas Eve. The last minute. I'd never done that before. Gone at the last minute. It took me 20 minutes to find a parking space. I couldn't figure it out. There were men everywhere. And then I realised. The last minute. Perfume, jewellery, slow cookers, gift wrapped. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. That's all it is to them. There was stuff everywhere. Everything looked so picked over. I went generic. Calendars. Puppies, kittens. Audrey Hepburn. I was about to pop into the supermarket for a turkey when I saw it. A 3-sided cardboard castle with fake snow dripping from the roof. Santa's workshop. A skinny Santa was sat on a red velvet throne. Anyone could see that beard was fake. You could see the elastic. A 6-foot-tall pixie with plastic pointed ears, blonde hair, black roots, was packing away the photos. By the entrance there was a woman with a little boy of about 6, clinging to her leg. "Is that the real Santa?" "Yes, of course," she said. And she went to pay the pixie. The boy waited. And then he saw me and stared with his big, truthful eyes. So I called him over. "Hey, kid, do you want to see the real Santa?" "Yes," he said. So I told him. I'm the real Santa. The one and only. I'm the one who makes the list and checks it twice and buys all that crap made by children in China who don't even know what Christmas is. Then I hide it in the bedroom closet and stay up late for weeks, rapping and writing, writing and rapping with love from Santa. On Christmas Eve, when everyone's asleep, I put it all under the tree. The next morning, they rip it open. "Oh, wow, look what Santa's bought me, but it's just me. Me!" The child starts crying. His mother, screaming, comes rushing over. "Pervert! Stay away from my son! Security! Security!" A crowd gathers, but I can't stop. I'm shouting back at all the women watching. "I'm Santa Claus, and so is she, and her, and her, with our empty pockets and our empty lives, because we're giving, giving, giving until there's nothing left. What for? Tell me, what's it all for? What the hell are we doing? Go home, write a book, invent a cure for cancer or malaria or herpes. Because while we're planning and shopping and rapping and writing, that's what the men are doing. They're taking over the world or blowing it up, inventing the iPad or looking for life on Mars, while we're playing Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy. Security to zone 2, security to zone 2. The security guard threw me out. So we're not having turkey for Christmas. Because I'm going there. They don't celebrate Christmas in Turkey.
Enough. It's over. You know how much I love my job, and that's why I stayed here until today. No more. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Don't look at me like that. Should I not talk? It's not the right place, the right time. I get it. We are here to save lives. Or at least to try. I can already imagine how difficult it is for you. Just another one. But I can't take it anymore. Tell me, doctor, what do we do? Broken equipment, lack of medication, electricity and water cutting out whenever they please. Of course, international sanctions. Poor management, doctor. Poor management. Threats of armed groups. We meant to be on the same side. Crime, hunger, fatigue, loneliness. Tell me, how do you do it? You are not going to say anything. Of course, I know you too well. Keep silent and smile. Isn't that right? After all, we are fighting a war. We have to keep our spirits high, not give up. Resist and persist. That's the motto. You know, a few years ago, anger sustained me. The accumulated anger of so many years of social injustice. The resentment of being stepped on. The bad would fall, and the good would rise. And anger united us. But over the years, that anger has turned into disgust. Where do dreams go? The hopes of living with justice, in a peaceful place, live with peace. I resist, but damn it, I barely survived the assault. And as soon as I got here, they called me to the operating room. It was him. The kid didn't make it. It's too late. I have to leave before it's too late. The thing is, doctor, that I can't take it anymore. I don't believe anymore.
Something really weird happened to me, and I mean really weird, when I was flying back from Jamaica. But I think before I tell you about that, I want to give you a little bit of background on a term, on a word that I'm going to be using. Baby boomers are people who were born in the 1960s, okay? And a boomer is a person with, well, let's say, negative or provocative opinions on, well, let's say, gay issues, or people who aren't white, or people who are female. That kind of a thing, that kind of a category of human being. There are more categories of human being that boomers may object to, but time really isn't going to allow for that. So, anyway, we're preparing for takeoff on the plane when the captain comes on the tannoy, and then she gives us information about the flight time to London, etc., etc. And also that Sophie is going to be our first officer on the flight today, and that Sophie is going to be flying the plane most of the way from Jamaica to London, okay? Oh, and settle back and enjoy the flight. Perfect. So, as I'm settling back to enjoy the flight, I hear the guy next to me say, "Oh my God, female pilots, and there's two of them. Oh my God, mate." So, of course, I pretend not to hear. And until, and get this, he taps me. He actually taps me on the shoulder like that. And then he said it again when I turned round to have a look at him, because you can't not turn round to see who's just tapped you on the shoulder, can you? So I turned round, and then he said it again. Female pilots. Oh my God, mate. And there's 2 of them. Well, so what could I do? I said, what's the matter? Because, I knew exactly what the matter was, because I say he was a little older than me, 60-something, and therefore a real larger-than-life boomer, a super boomer, as it were. And he said, 2 women pilots, mate. When have we ever had women pilots? Huh? Well, what can I say? But, I said, I suppose only since 90 years ago, maybe, that's all. One of the first commercial pilots was a woman. I know that for a fact. I've read about it before, until the All-Men Pilots Union in the late 1930s effectively banned female commercial pilots until around 1972, if my memory serves me right. Why? I know I shouldn't have asked, but I was in that kind of a mood. And, this guy is a real boomer. The kind who will turn up on social media, and you can't believe it's a real person spouting these opinions. And now, here they are, larger than life, and you're trapped inside a metal tube with a real life one soon to be flying at 5 miles in the sky with them, and there's no way to hide. And with a real life one, you can't block them, you can't mute them, and you can't just slam the lid down on your laptop with them, which means he's just going to keep on throwing words out of his boomer mouth like that. God help us, mate, if they're both having PMT today, yeah? Oh, cool, I tell you what, mate, I hope they can land a plane, but then they could park a car, yeah? And he laughed. He actually laughed at that joke that's just come out of his boomer mouth. So, what can I do? I tell you what I did, and this is the clever bit from me. I decided to use psychology. And I said, look, I'm really not seeing the issue here, but I do understand that people like you and I were poisoned. We were poisoned as kids growing up in the 1960s by our fathers and grandfathers and TV channels and newspapers of that time saying women should be at home preparing dinner for the family, for their husband, being a baby factory and popping them out like bullets. And then we had the TV comments of the time saying things like, oh, sorry, honey, but that new car of ours, it looks like all the rain made the garage shrink when I was trying to park it. And then you get all that canned audience laughter, and it's all poisoning our DNA all the way up to there. And I was there too. And I understand how some people were more affected than others, more influenced than others. Ooh. Now he looks anxious, wondering what he's triggered. So what can I do? But continue. Look, it's not your fault, I know. I was lucky enough to see through all of that bigotry and open my eyes and my mind at an early age. But I know you weren't so fortunate, and I understand that. But remember, in the 1980s when we were young, remember seeing Madonna and coming on the scene with these new attitudes on how women were going to be seen and heard and how women were going to be understood. And, well, I wasn't threatened. I thought it was cool. And how much of a positive progression it was. And you know what? Somewhere inside, I bet And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. I bet you thought it was 2. And he said, yeah, well, that was different, weren't it? We were young and look, just leave it, mate, yeah? Just leave it, yeah? Yeah? I'm sorry, but, just leave it. So I replied, I understand. I understand. And then he went to sleep. Female pilots. Female pilots. Just 2 words that triggered this whole goddamn thing. Can you believe it? Yeah? So, that's what happened. But that's not the weird part. The weird part is that when the captain's voice first came on the tannoy, I thought exactly the same thing. Female pilot. Female pilot. Why? Why me? Not just him, but why me? Boomers. Bloody boomers. It's in our DNA, isn't it? All the way from the 1960s. 60 years. And I just want to cut it out. I just want to cut it out. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
என் உதிரத்தின் விதை, என் உயிர் உதிர்த்த சதை, வேறொருவனை பகவன் என பொறுத்திடுவேனா? குணர்க பிரகல்நாதனை கேட்டுத் தெளிகிறேன். துணையில்லாந்தனை துணையுடையோன் தொழுதேன் இந்தையே வணர்க்கம். வாடா மகனே வா, உன் சிறுவிரல் கொண்டன் சுடர்மணி மார்பில் சுருள்முடி சுழற்ற வாடா மகனே வா. எமது அந்தனர் சொல் கேளாது உன் மனம் போல் நிஜபித்த பெயர் நாற்றிகமன்றோ பிள்ளாய். இறைவன் யாமென உலகே உணர்ந்த பின்னும் இரண்யன் மகன் நீ மதம் மாறுவதா? உற்ற உன் பிழையை திருத்து, உண்மையின் நாமம் சொல்லிடு. இவர் போன்று நீ சொல்ல வேண்டிய மந்திரம் எது தெரியுமா? தோ இரண்யாய நமக, இரண்யாய இரண்யாய நமக, இரண்யாய நமக, இரண்யாய இரண்யாய நமக. ஓம் ஓம் சொல். ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய, ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. எவனிவனின் நாரணன் எனப்படுவோம், 8 திக்கும் எனையே தொழுதிட என் மகன் வழிபட வேறொரு உருவோ, எனக்கு ஒரு நிகரன எவனையும் சொல்லவோ, பூதம் 5 பொருந்திய பொருளோ, வேதம் 4 விளங்கிய உருவோ, இரவும் பகலும் அகமும் புறமும் பிரிவெற்று சாகா வரமுடையோன், புரிந்திடு 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 நீ. முடிவுரை என்றொன்றில்லா காவியம் தான். அறியா பிறவி பிறந்தோம், ஆளாய் பறந்தோம் திரிந்தோம், அறியோம் எனுமோர் நாமம், அறிந்தோம் வாழ்ந்தோம் ஒய்தோம். பித்துக்குழி கட்டுக்கதை கேட்டு கெட்டுப் போனாய் பட்டுப் போனாய் அஷ்டாசரம் துஷ்ட பயல் நாமம் அரியா பாலா அற்பா மூடா அரியோ அவனோ பேரளி பெண்ணோ அறவோ புலியோ நரியோ நாயோ எத்தக உயிரும் கொல்லாதமையே அறிவாய் 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 அறிவோம் எனினும் அறிவோம் ஹரியின் குரலே உபதம் மிருத்துஞ்சய வித்தை கற்றவன் நான் பாலா நெடு வாழ்வும் பெற்றவன் நான் நல்வழி கேளாது உன் வழி நடந்து அரி அரி என உன் விழி மூடிச் சொன்னார் மடிவாய் மடிவாய் நாதன் நாமம் ஓதாயின் நானும் வாழ்வும் வேண்டே மீனை தாம் என்றான் ஆமை தாம் என்றான் வெக்கம் கெற்று பன்றியும் நான் தான் என்றவனா கடவுள் யாதும் ஹரி அவன் எதிலும் உலானே எவரும் எந்த பொருளும் தெய்வமானால் கும்பிற்ற குரலிற்கு குப்பை கூட கோபுரமாகும் அகில உலகம் அழியும் அழியும் எங்கே இருக்கிறானடா உனது ஹரி ஏ மாயாவி ஹரி வாடா வெளியே ஏ துஷ்ட ஹரி வாடா வெளியே எங்கே இருக்கிறான் உனது ஹரி இந்த தூணில் இருக்கிறானா அல்லது இந்த தூணில் மறந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறானா ஏய் துஷ்ட ஹரி வாடா வெளியே என்ன உனது ஹரி இந்த தூணில் இருக்கிறானா ஏய் துஷ்ட ஹரி வாடா வெளியே ஏய் வாடா வெளியே வாடா வெளியே ஏய் துஷ்ட இரண்ய கசபு பிரம்மாவிடம் வரத்தை பெற்றால் உனக்கு மரணம் இல்லை என்று எண்ணினாயா நான் தானடா உனது காலன் உனது வரம் என்ன நீ பகலிலும் மடிய மாட்டாய் இரவிலும் மடிய மாட்டாய் இது சந்தியா காலமடா உனது வரம் என்ன வீட்டுக்குள்ளாகவும் சரி வீட்டுக்கு வெளியும் உனக்கு மரணம் இல்லை நீ இப்போது வாயுர் படியில் இருக்கிறாயடா உனது வரம் என்ன எந்த மனிதராலும் எந்த மிருகத்தாலும் உனக்கு மரணம் இல்லை நான் மனிதனும் அல்ல மிருகமும் அல்ல நான் பாதி நரன் பாதி சிம்மமடா எனது பெயர் நரசிம்மன் உனது வரம் என்ன ஆகாயத்திலும் மரணம் இல்லை பூலோகத்திலும் மரணம் இல்லை நீ இப்போது இதற்கு இடையில் என் மடியில் இருக்கிறாயடா உனது வரம் என்ன எந்த அஸ்திரத்தாலும் எந்த சஸ்திரத்தாலும் உனக்கு மரணம் இல்லை என்னிடம் அஸ்திரமும் அல்ல சஸ்திரமும் அல்ல நான் என் கை நகத்தால் உன் வயிற்றை கிழித்து உன்னை வதம் செய்ய போகிறேனடா மணிந்தான் பாபி மகா பாபி பிரிய பிரகல்நாதனை துன்புறுத்தினான் மேலும் ரிஷிகள் முனிகள் அப்பாவிகள் சாதுக்கள் அனைவரையும் துன்புறுத்தினான் ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி
I look at my watch again as I hastily park the car on the gravel. 4 minutes past 1. I should have been here an hour and a half ago. I pray that I won't bash into the wooden post or run over the peacock strutting around on the edge of the lawn. This is a lovely old building. I grab my jacket off the back seat and rush towards the entryway. What if this is the wrong place? I was in such a mad rush. I didn't even look at the sign at the front of the driveway. I stop on the top step and I try to calm down. I pull up my trousers, I retie my shoelaces, and I try and sort out my hair, which I probably should have had cut. Take a deep breath. Whisper. Relax. Fed up of having to go to these do's on my own. I try my best to forget about the spot, the type that I only seem to get for a party. I mean, hopefully no one will notice. There are worse things. I open the door, where a smart receptionist greets me. Is this the first hotel? Yes. A woman of few words, it turns out, although she does irritatingly still manage to point out my spot. Oh, it's not contagious, is it? It's all over. What? Oh, you've missed the ceremony. They're just starting lunch. Oh. She comes out from behind her reception area and we go down a corridor over some creaking floorboards. Here we are. The receptionist, she realises that I'm a bit nervous and says, take it easy. It's not your wedding. I thank her for her assistance and I start to scan the room for Brian and Rachel. I've only met her once, but luckily she's the one in the wedding dress. Brian, Rachel, congratulations. What a venue. You look stunning. Or me, Brian says. It's so great to see you. We didn't get a reply. I definitely emailed it. Brian says, I just assumed you couldn't make it. Rachel, you remember Matt? My old school friend? Yes, she says. Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm so sorry, I got lost and then I hit this most dreadful traffic. Never did have much of a sense of direction. Brian chips in. Don't worry, mate, you're here now. I'm sure they'll be able to squeeze you in somewhere. Just sit down, relax, enjoy yourself and we'll catch up later. Brian explains the situation to the head waiter, who guides me to the table. Oh, please, do take a seat over here. Obviously Italian, or if not, then he's doing a pretty good impression of one. But it's the children's table, I say, as if he doesn't already know. Look, I don't have a fretta, nowhere else to sit, see? Ah, I see. I demonstrate with fake protest. Yes, but I'm not a baby. Yes, I know. We are all the bigger boys are here. Yes, come on now. He probably thinks I'm crazy. And at this point, he pulls out the chair from under the table, which I completely miss and fall flat on my bum. The whole table erupts into laughter. I mean, some even clap. I'm consent that I'm blushing and I try and make the whole thing seem as natural as possible, and then I just give in and start laughing, but he isn't happy. Look, do not give me trouble, eh? You're worse than the bambinos. I introduce myself to the table. Feels strange sitting here. I know I look young, but this is ridiculous. Paul, the boy to my right, he says, that was well cool. I thought the entertainment had started early. He has a good sense of humour. Considering he's just 11, he seems old and wise beyond his years. They take turns trying to grill me with these rapid fire questions. Children, very direct, aren't they? Are you a big child? No. Are you very old? I'm only 25. Are your mummy and daddy here? No, they're not. Why are you here? Oh, I'm a friend of Brian's, so we only meet a couple of times. Do you have any brothers or sisters? Yes, a sister. What football team do you support? Derby. Who? Derby. Why is the soup cold? Oh, it's meant to be. It's called gazpacho. Have you got a girlfriend? Unfortunately not. Then followed by the inevitable, why not? Now that's a long story. And then the last pertinent question from Paul says, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my reply, wow, well, you got me there, kid. You really have, but I'm working on it. I'm fascinated by all their questions. I even asked them a few of my own, and then I'm struck. I spot someone across the room who I haven't seen since I left school. Paul. He notices me, looking over, and asks who it is. Oh, it's just someone I was very fond of. Do you have a crush on her? Well, you could say that. Why don't you ask her out? Well, she's probably with someone. Look, she's talking to someone now. That doesn't mean anything. I don't know. I don't want to... I feel awkward. I don't want to embarrass myself. Haven't you already done that? I have to hand it to him. You have to go for it, Matt. If you don't, then I'll ask her for it. I'm certain of it. All right then. All right. Anything to stop him from carrying on. So, bolstered by this charming, bright boy with all the white patter, I walk over to her. Hi, Connie. Matt? Oh, how wonderful to see you. Ooh, she's as warm and radiant as I remember. I didn't know you were here, she says. Yes, I'm on the children's table, just over there. Her reply. The children's table? Oh, you always were young at heart. I smile. How's life been treating you, Connie? Oh, very well, thanks, and you? I can't complain. Then she says this. Are you seeing anyone at the moment, Matt? No. Are you? Not at the moment. And then I pluck up the courage to ask her. Would you like to meet up next week? Her reply. Yeah, I'd love that. And my enthusiastic response. You would? Oh, I can't wait.
I hope you enjoyed the show. If you would like to help select who goes through to the global finals, you can do so by voting. We're about to publish a link to the voting form in the description of this video below, and voting lines are open for 48 hours from the end of the broadcast. You must select exactly 2 performances, not just one, and please note that you're not allowed to vote more than once per show. Thanks for tuning in. Head to worldmonologuegames.com/watch if you'd like to check out more of our events. See you next time.